Wow. Wow. Just wow. I can't believe. I can't believe what I've just witnessed. It's. Belinda's opening episode, Friday Setter's opening episode as Belinda Challenger, was. It's everything I would have hoped for and more. It's glorious. It's fantastic. It is warranty over a review. So let's find out what my opinion is on Robots Revolution. Roll titles. Doctor Who Series 15 has landed on UK soil here in the UK at 8 AM on the BBC iPlayer and other times around the world. Now, this review does contain spoilers. I do apologise. The issue we've got here is 8 AM is a bad time for me, a bad time for a lot of people. So was midnight, but midnight had one upside. Some people will be awake, they wouldn't have had to get up early. So family viewing for an 8 AM slot, not just for me, but for everyone, it's a nightmare. And because I review these, it becomes worse of a nightmare. So, I will say this now, and I'll probably say it again tomorrow. Because obviously, because I try to make one film a day on this channel, Tom Mason, because I want to talk about Doctor Who every day, and I need to get out of my system to talk about Doctor Who, because I'm a massive fan of Doctor Who. Woo! And so, I think the Sundays, not all Sundays, just very occasionally, I might do a video that might go into massive detail in one certain part of the very first episode that I think needs to be explored more than what I did in my initial review. So I'll be watching it twice on the day it's out. Once, as in for the review. Once, so I can watch Doctor Who Unleashed, which will be technically watching it twice because you get the whole gist of the thing. And then once with the family, so that I can see other aspects I didn't see before, and so that I can watch it with the family. Why not? So let's get into my initial review. As you can probably tell by the tone of voice, it was amazing. And I know I don't really give many negative reviews on here. It's just that I might have criticisms, right, of things. I might disagree with things. I might not like things. But I just don't ever feel comfortable giving my negativity that much here on the World Wide Web. So I always feel like I need to give the positives. There might be a few things that could have been better, that could have been better, but it's nothing like, that was awful, it was the worst thing I've ever seen, no, bin it, no, it's none of that. If I hate a program, I'm never going to talk about it, never going to review it, unless I want to talk about why I didn't like that program. So, this is what's happening, and that is the explanation to why I might always sound cheery and positive when talking about these episodes. And I do apologise if you hear random noises. I'm just trying to make sure that my mic's high enough and I'm not going to bang it with my chin, because that's what I was doing just then. I was banging it with my chin. So my initial opinion on it is very positive, right? It's a very positive initial opinion, because I do think that if you want to compare our Russell T Davies' second term as the Doctor, I'm going to use that term, second time round as being the showrun, not faffing around with Big Finish. That's a different thing for a different day. And I think that even though I love Ruby Sunday's opening, and I do think that Ruby Sunday's a perfect companion for Ncuti Doctor, I do think Belinda's going to grow. At the moment, she's cracking, but she's going to get better and better and better. And then when Ruby joins in, that dynamic's going to be magical. Mrs. Flood is back, and I want to talk about this in a way. So in the preview clip that was released on the YouTube channel yesterday, I think, they showed Mrs. Flood in that. And what makes that special is I want to know, where does Mrs. Flood live? So I know that she lives opposite Ruby Sunday, but how does she, from an angle, I know there's more to her than just a neighbour that knows a lot about time travel. I know she's probably going to be the Rani. Well, every time there's someone that knows a little bit more than they should do and knows a lot about the Doctor, people tend to think she's the Rani, but she never is. So what I think is, where does Belinda Chandra live? Because I'm going to itch your foot, I'm going to itch it, and it's itched. Because she can't live that far away from Ruby for Mrs. Flood to be there, because the whole point of Series 14 was that it was all about, yes, all this happening, but Mrs. Flood sees everything, she lives near him, blah, blah, blah. There was the whole thing of last series was, she lives near Ruby Sunday. And I want to know is, why has she moved house? Or does she live nowhere but everywhere all at once? And I quite like, it's Anita Dobson's fantastic. This is her last year, 2024. She was in a grand total of 3 programmes, Doctor Who, Curfew and Generation Z. She was in all 3 of them. One as a zombie, one as a campaigner, and one as Mrs. Flood. So she's branching out back into the world of acting from being in EastEnders, and she's getting these roles that are perfect for her now. That isn't, I'm the grandma. She's now, I am the villain. Secret villain. Shh, you didn't see me here. And I think that her part in this episode adds to her. I'm going to itch my foot. Oh, sorry. I'm going to itch my foot, and it's itched. Her part of this episode adds to the mystery that occurs in her character. So I do think that her character needs to be explained by the end of this series, or else I don't see the point anymore. Now let's talk about the concept of this episode. So Belinda is a brand new character played by Viradu Setu. I do apologise if I mispronounced that. Who had previously appeared in Boom, which was in the last series. So I would say, and this is going to be an opinion that everyone's going to get eventually. They probably won't get to where I'm at with it, because I've already made my mind up for what it is, but they'll probably get close to it. I think at the moment that this episode, Robots Revolution, is a sequel to Boom. A very vast and wide sequel. It's because normally when an actor is in Doctor Who more than once, they're not really got a big part previously, and they might have a big part this time. And they're unrecognisable, and there's none of that. Oh, I remember you. Oh, you look familiar. Oh, I remember you. Oh, I remember you. I remember you. I remember you. None of that. None of that. That would take too much time on. And so, because she is a companion that's been, because she'd been in it before in a significant role, might I add, from last time, this meant that they had to try, the writers, Russell, everyone, had to try and work out the best way to make sure that she's their own character, but then there is hints to this previous character. And I think that having the flashbacks and having a mention at the end, like, works really well, because it means the Doctor recognises, but then obviously by the end of it, it's like, well, we need to explain what's going to happen next. We need to tell the next story. We need to tell the arc of this series, because that's what Doctor Who's really good at these days, is telling the arc of the series. And I think that having what happens to Belinda in this works really perfect, because we're not just seeing her life fold out like, I'm off to work. Oh yes, alien, I'm off to work. Whoa, aliens. Alien! I'm off to work. Aliens! I'm off to work. Aliens! I'm off to work. None of that. It's more of a. She's living a life where we've seen like different aspects of it. So, 17 years previous, 17 years now, blah, blah, blah. We've seen all these in a quick succession, which means that there's nothing stalling the adventure. It's narrated through the aspect of she's here, the Doctor's trying to get to her because he knows what's going to happen and all this. And so because of that, it makes it more fascinating, more complex, if you will. And what it does, in my opinion, is it just makes everything happen quicker. Because really, in an episode of Doctor Who, you need enough time for it to do what it needs. It needs time, right? Every episode of Doctor Who needs time to breathe, needs time to develop the story, but needs no stalling. And because she's a new companion, you have to try and introduce her, and you also have to try and explain what's going on. So the premise of the Robots Revolution is Belinda gets given her own star by her boyfriend at the time. And it's one of those, oh, that's a nice star. But really, it's a galaxy, I think. I think that's what the scientific term is. I'm not Professor Brian Cox, so I don't know. He will probably end up doing something on that. They'll probably get him to do a short YouTube thing for the Official Doctor YouTube channel talking about what this star was that Belinda got given them by, and how that star turned into its own planet. And I just think that was really weird, right? It's weird in a good way because it's how did the alien, how did they know that it's that? I don't know, because it's not just a website. I don't know, and I think that it chimed into the world of oh, that's nice, and then it's, oh, that's really evil. Yeah, oh yeah, no, that's evil. Oh no, you're evil. And I personally think that having that as a premise, so the Belinda's got her own star and everything revolves around that, it works really well. So my favourite moment, and the moment that made me go, look, I've been excited for the return of Doctor Who since the last series ended. And now, I'm like, give me more! Give me more! And the other person at the other end goes, more? You have to wait a week now, come on. You should be watching on broadcast, but obviously, they should be added into the iPlayer early. So, my inner monologue saying, no, don't add it to the iPlayer early. Leave it on broadcast. Thank you. And I think that this moment that I'm going to describe, it's a Doctor Strange type effect. So, in Doctor Strange, this is how to explain it really well, because it's a CGI thing that I think that it's cracking. The Doctor Strange, when you get, like, punched, right, with the power that Doctor Strange has, your soul, so you're stood still, your soul falls out of yourself several times, right? So you see several incarnations of your own soul before it's the one that's you. So it's like, that type of thing, right? And even though we're not in the Marvel Universe, there's none of that, because it's a timey-wimey thing, as the Doctor would describe it, which is perfect reference point, because he doesn't say that enough. He keeps saying Mavity these days, which needs to die a death. Thank you. And so once you get the aspect of the body falling out of itself, so you get Doctor Strange who's wearing a cloak, he falls out of himself, and he's the person he was before without the cloak, right? Wearing a suit, whatever he was wearing before he got given this cloak. So in this shot, you've got the Doctor, played by Ncuti Gatwa, and you've got the whole scene, like, It's like a jittery thing. It's a repeating thing. It's a repetition type aspect. And what you get that you don't get in other aspects of this is the back and forth of now you've seen everyone's life wrapped around you. Now you see everyone's life wrapped around you. Sort of like everybody's life. Life itself. And you see all the different people at the age. And you see the faces change. Different ages. And I just think that's cracking. And as you know, I've been doing audio. Well, I'm working on improving the audio description. I'm making over on Tom Jarvu, which is Tom Mason Plus One, and I'm slowly adapting some of my videos into audio description. I'm doing some for subtitles as well in the future, and then eventually there'll be a sign language interpreter. Eventually, in the far future, if that service gets invented for people to hire out these things for videos in the way future, then obviously I'll be able to make all my videos accessible for all three of those aspects. And the audio description I'm slowly improving, and I'm coming up with other ideas and making it better. And I'm watching, because I'm doing all this, and I'm watching that going, that would be cracking in audio description. But I've heard some of the BBC ones, and the River City ones aren't that great. Neither is the ones for the animated Doctor Who, but that's irrelevant. But that would be cracking if you put it in a theatre and you get one of the theatre audio describers. The one that does the Lion the Witch and Wardrobe that was on the Big Night of Musicals. Get her in, right? Tell her, right, you need to do it in the same aspect as you do Lion the Witch and Wardrobe, but do it for that scene, because that needs to be that needs to be described, because I don't know how to describe it, right? I'm trying to explain this shot without giving spoilers enough. I'm trying to explain this shot because it's so beautiful. It's so magical, but it's just hard to describe. I'm not a professional audio describer, so if someone out there can try and describe that in some way or form, in a way that shows my enthusiasm for it, not just, yes, we've been paid to do this audio description for it, do it in my sort of enthusiasm for it, then I'm sure people will love it as much as I do. I make things, right? I do short films, I do sitcoms, sketch shows, dramas, I do everything, right? I'm trying to improve my After Effects skills. That is just, I can't wait to see the behind the scenes on that, right? I cannot wait to find out how that was made. And Doctor Who Unleashed is available on the BBC iPlayer in the UK and on the Doctor Who YouTube channel around the world. I don't know if it's the same time wise. Anyway, and I just think it's the best shot in this, right? You see them aging really quickly. You see the time trying to get through, and all because this is the crucial moment because the Doctor doesn't like killing people, so the crucial moment when the Doctor needs to save as much as he can, save as many people as he can, do as much as he can, right? Because he feels guilty for everything, and that's the Doctor's personality. Because of all the years, of thousands and millions and billions of years the Doctor's had of heartbreak and destruction. And overall, I know I talk too much about Doctor Who being fantastic and amazing, and I know there's downsides to it. I know there's bits that don't work as well, and I know there's bits that could be changed. And I know there's multiple issues with it. Like, for example, when the robots kill someone, that could have been a far more dramatic animation than being a cheap knockoff of a Dalek-ish. Because it just felt really... we've got some, budget-wise probably, we've got some fantastic CGI scene, and then they've got that. I wasn't too keen on that. And see, small criticisms is the way I go, because when you look at something, you don't blame... If you watch a remake of a TV program from another country, you might not like that. That's not the actor's fault, that's the writing's fault, right? And you can say that because it's not it's that script. It might not have been the best script, and the writers might agree. I don't know. And it's that type of thing that you don't want to be mean, because it's not their fault. No one's at fault here. It's just at that moment, in your opinion, that doesn't necessarily work, and it's no one's fault. I think they could have done slightly more, but because they were getting that scene that's incredible, they could have run out of budget for that. I know. And I think that I want to know, and this is a spoiler, the next words I utter will be a giant spoiler due to the fact I want to know the scientific answer. Yes. So at the very end, so the whole point is that Belinda owns this world called Belinda Chandra World, and she'd know it, and all this. You know what I mean? It goes on and on and on about it. And at the very end, they go, "You are now the Queen of Earth." Now, my question is, what paperwork do you have to sign? Second of all, how does Earth find out if you're the Queen of Earth? And how does the Earth get a queen? That's what I want to know. If anyone knows any scientific jargon about that, or if I'm just reading too much into it, then please let me know. I think Belinda is a cracking character. Can't wait for what's next. And I think the character will get better and better. Even though I love the character now, I might prefer the character in the last episode of the series than I do at the beginning. And I think the Doctor's costumes, that's an issue. It's not the clothing itself, it's just there's too many. I was watching the opening going, really? Does the Doctor need to change his outfit that much? Does the Doctor's costume have to alter that much? Really? Really? Could you not just wear one thing and go, yeah, I'm alright with that, and change it variable depending on what time period they're in, not change it every 4 seconds? I think that's the thing that's like, sort of annoyed me. That's the only thing in it that really made me going, that's not right. No, no, no. But other than that, I thought, wow, this was, and this is, amazing. So overall, I am going to say this is a brilliant opening. Can't say it's the best opening to a New Who series, and I can't say this is the best companion entrance in all of Who, but I can say that this is a good start to what's going to be a cracking series. So, I'll be back tomorrow for more wonderful videos. I'll be back whatever I now call videos films, because I want to make things, because I am a Doctor Who YouTuber. I try and turn this into a TV show, it fails, and I don't want to do the generic YouTube things. I want to break the mold, break the barrier, but I want to review and talk about Doctor Who as well. So it's just a juggling act. Thank you guys for watching. Bye bye.
Don't forget to subscribe to the official Tom Mason YouTube channel.